Good evening, everybody. How are you? So I decided to, I didn't announce this because I just finished a session with somebody. So I was like, right, it's officially live number 60. And if I'm looking a bit tanned, it's because I've tanned this morning, not washed it off yet. So say hi if you're here. It'd be nice to see you. I'm actually on my computer, so when I'm using this, so I can see people's comments and stuff. So it's live 60. So for those of you who don't know, I'm currently on a 365-day live challenge. It's just a challenge I've set myself. It's nothing really to do with anything else apart from setting myself a bit of a task. And it's been not as challenging as I thought it would be. I've done a 30-day live before. I actually found that more stressful than this. So I'm intentional every day. I'm constantly listening, reading something, looking about, like thinking about things that I can talk about. Sometimes it's a bit silly. Sometimes it's quite profound. Sometimes I go quite deep into stuff. Sometimes it's just observations about things. And most of them are held in my private group, the Ever Evolving Woman. So if you're not a member of that and you would like to be, then just say, can you send me the link underneath? So yeah, so it's live 60. So I thought I'd celebrate that with a bottle of water and pop on and do the live. So I used to do my lives on here every week, and now I just do them. Well, I'm going to go back to doing them once a week just to give it some variety. Because one of the observations I made about this whole challenge was that I realized that once I'd got my new group and it's full of people who are into what I talk about, is that I was very comfortable hanging out in there, like really comfortable. And so I was doing all my lives in there, and I was showing up less on my personal page. And that's sort of not what I was, that's not challenging myself. I was sort of being a bit safe. So I've decided to go back to doing once a week, but I'm not going to announce them. I'm just going to do them whenever. So, hi Siobhan. I can't see the comments on this. I'm just looking on my phone. So, what the amazing thing I want to talk about. Hi Jane. Hey Claire. Is dropping the ball, because I dropped the ball on more than one occasion over the last 10 days. And the irony of it is that I'm currently in a program. I'm just finishing a program called Mid-Year Manifesto, which is about planning and making sure the last 6 months of this year are amazing, both personally, professionally, and all the things, with Melanie and Leah. And the irony of me dropping the ball so much during me planning out smashing the end of the year is quite funny. And I want to sort of like talk about sort of how that happened, and in the hope that you can see some similarities, you can see some, oh God, yeah, I do that, or yeah, that happens to me. And then I just want to talk through how I've coped with that and how I've dealt with that. So I am a very sort of high energy person. So I am quite capable of taking on quite a lot of things at the same time. I have the energy for that. So, but when I'm a yes person to opportunity, and I'm a person that just says, yes, this feels good, I'm going to do it. And so what happens is, hey, Rebecca, hey, Andy. So I was running my program that I've just finished. It was the last session of Revolution yesterday. I had the idea to do that and did it within 2 weeks of having the idea. So I was running the course, writing the course, running the course, doing the lives, doing my 365-day live. I had my membership site that's been running for 5 months now, Becoming Her, new one-to-one clients, plus working 2 days a week, helping my friend in her salon, and kids and everything. And so, and I'm like, fine, like this is, it's brilliant, and I'm loving, and I love everything. I love it all. And then I nearly forgot to do my live, my 365-day live. And it was 11:45, and I was just about to go to bed, and I was like, and I'd done a coaching session that night. So because I'd done one of my modules for Revolution. So because I'd been live on Facebook, but that's in a private group, I must have I've done a live, and I was quite tired. And I was like, I said to Mark, I've not done my live. And he was like, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, I'm going to go and do it. I said, because I said I would. And so for the first time, I was like, actually, go me. Like that live was just about, a year ago, a year and a half ago, I would have just gone, oh, it'll be fine. They won't mind. Because that's the truth. Like nobody in my group would have minded if I hadn't have shown up. None of them would have minded. They're all amazing people. In fact, some of you are watching. Hey, Rachel. So none of them would have minded, but I was like, I said I'm going to do it. And if I am committing to 365 days and I miss a day on day 50, whatever, that's not, it's not a vibe. So I went and did the live. And then I'd started to feel, because my the way that my Becoming Her membership works is it's £22 a month and you get a masterclass from either me or somebody else in their zone of genius. So for the last couple of months, the last month, it wasn't me. It was the amazing Joanna Ellis, who's NLP master practitioner. She's absolutely incredible. Does things on, she did a whole masterclass on imposter syndrome, which is one of the things that my members had asked for a masterclass on. So because it wasn't me doing it, I started to feel a little bit detached. And because I need to be in stuff, I could say it's an energy thing. So I hadn't been in there, and I was like, so then I was doing live here and live there, and I just started to drop the ball. So I nearly forgot to do my live. I didn't forget, but I nearly did. And then I planned to do a live in the membership because I wasn't feeling connected to it. So I in a whim, just went, right, I'm going to do a live on Sunday, and I forgot. And then I went to bed thinking, oh God, I forgot. And then I got up in the morning. I was like, right, I'll do one today before we go. I was going to hairdressers. And I didn't get it done. And I was like, so I ended up going live from the hairdressers with all my foils in. Hey, Jess. Hey, Olivia. So the reason I'm telling you all this is because it would be so easy when we mess up, and it doesn't sound like a lot, and it isn't a lot, and no one minded. But I recognized quickly that this is a slippery slope. If I don't nip this in the bud now and look at this, because something isn't working, something's not, I'm not aligned in some way. So I need to check in. 2 years ago, I would have beaten myself up about it. I wouldn't have shown up. I wouldn't have done the one at 11:45. I would have just gone, oh, it's fine, and let myself off the hook. That would have then, once I've done it once, you can do it again. And so I recognize that, something's not right, there's something missing. And so I went live in my membership. I was like, this is what's happening. I don't feel as connected as I was here. This has to change. So this is what we're going to do. I have a 365-day live to do. So I'm going to make sure that my lives are somewhere every day. So that might be in the membership. It might be in my private group. It might be on my personal page. But I'm only going to do one a day. Because some days I was doing up to 3, which is fine, but it's not serving me. And if I'm going to preach to people and talk about putting yourself first, and my coach Melanie says, for me, for you, for us, and I love that, me first, if my cup is full, then I can show up in my best energy for everybody else. So I wanted to talk about it because I think as women and men as well, we put ourselves, if we mess up, we tend to go straight into beating ourselves up. There's negative mind, self-talks, I'm doing too much, and give up on an element of it. And if I'm honest, there were moments where I went, have I taken on too much? Is this too much? And no, it's not that I've taken on too much. It's just that the flow of it isn't right. So all it took was me to sit down. So when I had my hair done and I sat down, I was like, right, what's working for me? What's not working for me? What do I want? And what I want is I want to be able to show up equally and give the energy that I have in the places where I choose to give it, but in a more time effective, energy effective way, if that makes sense. So I wanted to tell that because I'm not perfect. And there's so many, especially if you're in business, I'm especially talking to you. If you've got a team or you have to show up on social media or your business requires a lot of your energy, you have to be mindful of how important that is for you to protect. And so and not slip into, if we do mess up, instead of accepting that as part of who we are and just saying, do you know what, I messed up, like I'm not firing at the moment, like some things, hi Bonita, hey Nicole, hey Anna, you know, I'm not firing at the moment, like there's something amiss. But the most beautiful thing to happen, this happened. So I've had this conversation in my membership, I've talked about it in my private group. So if you're listening to this again, apologies that I'm repeating myself, but the most beautiful thing happened. I received today a letter. It was a story from one of my people in my membership, Pip. And she's very creative. And she wrote this story. And as I'm reading this story, I didn't realize at the beginning of the story that it was about me. And it was the most beautiful thing. And as soon as I realized it was about me, I burst into tears. And she was like, oh, don't cry. I said, you do not understand how important what you've just said is to me. Because I won't go into it because it was a private thing. But the general gist of it is that the membership for her feels like home. That she is free to be herself, that she is free to learn, to not be judged, and to build a new way of thinking, feeling, and being in her own life, which makes her a better wife, a better parent, a better friend, and a more aligned human being. And hey Sherry, hey Lindsay. So she wrote me this story, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, one of my things that I love to feel is that my clients, the people in my membership feel held. They feel loved, supported, guided, with zero judgment. Like there's nothing they could say that would get anything but compassion from me. It doesn't matter how badly they think it, whatever they think it is. That's the most important thing to me. In fact, Pip's on now. Pip, I'm just talking about your thing. So I was going to call her, but I thought it'd be much better to do this live. Hey, Michelle. So she wrote me this thing, and it just blew my mind because, and Pip's quite special. Like Pip has we didn't know each other before she became part of my world in my membership. And I said to her, I said, you seem to bring things to me at the right time. Like there is some connection between us, that she recommends something that I need to read that it's just right for me at the time. So there is something weird between us. That's a fact, but it's a great weird. And so there I was after this really week and 10 days of feeling very, okay, I haven't got my shit together as much as I want to have. Not even I need, because I'm not into that. Like, I'm not going to shud all over myself. I'm not going to say you should be doing this, you should be doing that. It's like, this is who I want to be. This is how I want to show up. Like, this is how I want to show up for my business, for the people, my clients, everybody in my membership, for everybody. And I'm not showing up. Over the last week, 10 days, I haven't been showing up as that person. So it's like, okay, we're not beating ourselves up. We're looking at the plan, we're readjusting. And then this thing came in, and I cried as soon as I realized it was about me, because she was describing how she felt being in this space with me in the membership. And it was exactly the vision I have had for it all along, but a vision that I haven't really shared with that many people. And she literally said it unprompted, unasked for. She said it in this message. And it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever received. And in fact, I could cry now thinking about it. And so the moral of tonight's live is that you are, it's like making me really emotional. That, you know, you are perfect in your imperfection. That it doesn't serve anybody by pretending that you've got all your shit together. It's not human. And so if you're running a business that requires connection, and a big part of whether it's a success or not requires you to have connection with people, then don't pretend to be everything to everybody. Don't try and, hey Lisa, just be you. Like, just be you with all your flaws and the things, and admit to your shortcomings and say, I take responsibility for that. This is how it's made me feel. And be true to it, because when you are, the most beautiful things happen. And I feel more connected to everybody in my life, in my business. I mean, it's more than that. It's more than that. It's not just my business. It's my life. I feel more connected off the back of me not having a great 10 week to 10 days. So there's actually more beauty to come out of it by just being myself and saying, yeah, no, not been firing as well as I'd like to be. And also what that's led to is a much better idea, a much better plan. Because we've got to be fluid with our intention. We can't be, Melanie and Leah, my coach, talks about, we're talking in this program about masculine and feminine energy goal setting. Like, a masculine goal is, I'm so pleased you love the story. How funny that my own interpretation is exactly what you wanted to come. I know, it's mad. It's mad. Hey, Julie. Honestly, Pip, I can't tell you. I'm going to print it out and read it on days when I need to read it. It's just amazing. So yeah, hi, Julie from Maryland. How are you? Hey, Nicola, sorry. So I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so, setting a masculine energy goal is like, I'm going to do this by this time. Like, this has to happen by this time. And it just doesn't. Like, we have to have the vision. Like, the vision for how I want my business to be, how I want my life to be, is like my homing beacon. But there is fluid on the way. I can stop off here. Like, this plan can change. And when you allow that, like, if we get less rigid with our expectations and pressure on ourselves, and just be like, to go with it, and for me, it's always about following what feels good. Like, if it feels good, if this direction feels good, I'm going to go there. And this is exactly what I've done. And yes, I got to a point where I was a bit like, I'm not managing this as well as I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean back and feel what's the right thing to do. And the right thing to do was like, right, this isn't working. This is working. What do I want? Reconnecting with what I want, and then moving in the direction. No stress, no drama, no added pressure, no beating myself up. And it's been the most liberating thing. So to not be scared of, not being afraid to allow yourself to move through something difficult, and not getting to a difficult point in your business or your life or your relationship and going, okay, this is too hard. Like, this is just stressing me out, and shutting down. It's like asking really good questions. And I bang on about that all the time. It's a Tony Robbins thing. If you want a better life, ask better questions. So, like, every time you come to that road, you've got to go, okay, right, it's okay that this isn't working as well as it could. It's okay. Like, that's how we learn. That's how we progress and move through. And that's how we become successful in all areas: self, fitness, health, weight, relationships, business. It's all things. It's having that ultimate vision, but moving through it and allowing ourselves to not be perfect. And do you know what one of the other beautiful things was? I was talking about it in my private group, and one of my members just went, "Oh God, thank God you're not perfect." Because I see people all the time just like, I did that, and it was something in my other business that used to really get on my nerves, like, and some people have it, and that's okay. Like, I've got laser-like focus, and I was consistent and committed every single day, and there was not a day that I didn't go past. And the thing is, there is things in my life now that is the case. Like, I will not negate on this 365-day life. Like, no matter what happens, I will show up for that. No matter what, I will show up for that. But I use that very limited energy, like very limited capacity I have to really stick at something every single day. I'm using it in the right place, and if it doesn't work out in other areas, then I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So I just wanted to come on about and tell you that story, because I think there are, hey Lindsay, hi Luke, hey Nigel. I just wanted to tell that story because it's been brilliant. You know, what could have been a potential moment for me to dive deeper into the drama of me just dropping the ball a couple of times, and to beat myself up about it and not talk about it and not readjust the plan and just keep trying to make it work the way that it was working and being too rigid in that path, then I wouldn't have had the amazing support. I wouldn't have had that beautiful story from Pip. I wouldn't have had the realization that this could work better. Hey, Andrew. I wouldn't have had the fluidity and the ability, you know. So, hi, Victoria. So, you know, that's it, like that. So don't be frightened to drop the ball. If you do drop the ball, admit it, ask what's working, ask what's not working, decide what you want, and then move. And there's no time, like we haven't got time to beat ourselves up. What is the point? Literally not. That's it. So I hope you're having a gorgeous, what day is it? Tuesday. I'm off to the seaside tomorrow with the kiddie winks. William had his haircut today. It looks amazing. He looks so cute in the little chair. So a couple of things to remind you of. If you'd like to be in my free group, I can post you the link. Amen to that. Yes. Hey, Celine. Doors, and this is another thing that should have happened over the last month. I should have been talking about, I don't use the word should, I'm being funny. I should have been talking about my membership because I'm opening the doors to it on the 31st. Is it 31 days in this month? Yeah, whatever. And I am opening the doors on the 31st, but I'm opening it to the people on the wait list and anybody who wants to join in the next week. But I haven't done the big thing that I was meant to do about it. And you know what? It's okay. Because my commitment is constant evolution of my business, constant evolution of myself. And if that means that things don't necessarily happen when they're supposed to happen, it's okay. No one's going to die if the things don't happen. There are bigger things to worry about in the world than whether things happen on schedule. So even though I have a schedule, it is very fluid, it is very maneuverable, and I love it that way. So I would like to encourage you to, if you are somebody who is very stuck on the plan, it might be an area of your personality, and that's good, but choose the ones that really matter and be fluid with the other things. Does that make sense? Okay, so I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your lovely comments. Hi, Michelle. And I will see you next week at some point. But if you're in my group, then I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah. Love you. Bye.